Everybody. Shout out to all y'all checking in with us on the internet. Welcome to the Oakland Slam. We have a kick-ass night of poetry and competition and prizes for you tonight. But first, a word from our sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by our support from our generous patrons over at patreon.com. This show, while super rewarding, still has to abide by the merciless rules of capitalism. So every contribution given to us helps Rich Oak Events plan and budget to ensure that we continue paying for our featured artists, supporting local fledgling writers, and providing a space for the East Bay community to enjoy live art. So shout out to all of our patrons, in particular, Renee Edmonds, Stephanie Yaboa, Emily Chow, and Kalela Lee for being regular supporters. Shout out to Jessica Kosakik for sponsoring one of our weekly workshops, and a special shout out to Alice Grimm for pledging $100 a month in support of one of our venues, the Allen Buford Center for Justice. If you like what you see tonight, or just want to support the arts, head on over to patreon.com/Rich Oak Events. There you can sign up for many different tiers of support. Any contribution you give us helps us meet our goals, pay our venues, and give back to our community. So if this interests you, please head over to patreon.com/Rich Oak Events, or you can donate to us via Cash App at # Rich Oak Events, or on Venmo at Rich Oak Slam. Thank you everyone for your generous support. And now on with the show. Gang, 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 gang. Woo! Like I said, we got a competition, and like any sensible competition, we got some rules so that nobody goes crazy, flips the chessboard, claims all the prize money for theirs without actually doing anything. It would be anarchy. We have a show for that, but that's not till the end of the year. So this one has rules. First off, for our poets, no props, no costumes. No musical accompaniment other than what you can make with your own voice and body. No nudity. This is a family show, and we are live streaming. Please do not be the reason that we can no longer exist on Facebook, Instagram. Maybe we won't get kicked off of Twitter. It's kind of wild. It's Twitter. Her mama named it Twitter, so I'm gonna call it Twitter. But even more important than our no nudity rule is our time limit. Poets, you have 3 minutes with a grace period of 10 seconds to share one original poem. After 3 minutes in your grace period of 10 seconds, you will be deducted points by our scorekeeper, Prophet. After 4 minutes, you will be muted by our God of Slam, Arvin. Please don't go over 4 minutes. Just please, I'm begging you. That shit's hella awkward because your voice cut out and then I'm suddenly spotlighted while not expecting it, because it sounded like you were in the middle of your poem, which you were because you were going too long. And then I had to continue hosting your show like we didn't just interrupt you. It will be awkward for me. It'll be awkward for you. It'll be awkward for the audience. But most importantly, it'll be awkward for me. So let's keep things under 4 minutes. The top 3 poets from round 1 make it to round 2. We have 3 poets tonight, so everybody's making it into round 2. Gang, 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 gang. Round 2 will be in reverse order from round 1, and the top poet of the night will win 50 whole American dollars. Woo. We like money. We like winning it. So those were the rules for the poets. Up next, we have rules for the audience. Actually, let's do the judges. Judges, y'all have the hardest job in the room. Y'all have to judge the poetry with your whole chest openly. Judges will be scoring all the poems from 0.0 to 10.0. A 0.0 is the absolute worst piece of shit you have ever heard in your life. You would literally not wipe your ass with the paper it was written on. Even the cover photo, like if it was in the book, the cover in the book would be shitty. Don't judge a book by its cover, but this one is pretty damn accurate. It is terrible. It ruined poetry for you forever. Conversely, a 10.0 is like the best poem you have ever heard. Like the art of poetry was created just so that one day this one poem will be written and performed so that you specifically can hear it. It brought you to your knees in tears, healing every piece of trauma you have ever experienced. It was better than therapy. It was better than sex. It was better than money. Point being, there are not many zeros, there are not many tens, so score accordingly. We have this thing where as the night goes on and you may be feeling the vibes, maybe partaking in different substances, poetry magically starts to sound better. Don't do that shit. We want the person who goes first to have just as big of a chance to win as the person who goes last. So we ask that you stay as consistent as possible. To help you stay consistent, we will have a sacrifice. This person will go at the beginning of the slam. You will judge them as if they are in the slam. They are not in the slam, but they are your practice rounds. So anybody you like more, you score them higher. Anybody you like less, you score them lower. We just ask, please, 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 please stay consistent. And next, we have you, the audience, chilling with us on the internet. Like and subscribe to our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you haven't already, but I'm assuming that if you are checking us out right now, that you are already subscribed. If not, welcome to the family. You're subscribed now. Like, do that shit right now. But also comment on the feed. Let the poets know how much you like their poems. Be even more enthusiastic than you would be in a slam. That's in person, because honestly, without y'all, we're just a whole bunch of crazy motherfuckers screaming on the internet. Y'all are what makes this a show and not a, I don't know, not a therapy session. All right, but yes, show as much love as you can. That goes for everybody who's in the Zoom too. Feel free when poets are going up and getting on and off stage to unmute yourself and clap and cheer for every poet who gets up here. And our last rule, more of a warning, a disclaimer, is that this is a freedom of speech zone. That means anybody can come up here and say whatever the fuck they want to say, but freedom of speech does not mean freedom from accountability. So if someone says something fucked up, you can let them know respectfully. You can let them know respectfully. You can let them know respectfully, because if you don't, you'll just get blocked. It's that simple. Usually in person, we would have like a longer conversation, but conversations don't really work too well on the internet. So have those conversations as respectfully as possible. If shit gets out of hand, then we'll just handle it in the comment section by blocking people. But we really didn't want to come. We don't want to come to that. We came here to hear fire ass poetry. So keep things cute, keep things respectful, keep things artistic. I think that is all of our rules. We have our rules for our judges, our rules for our poets, our rules for our audience. Cool. Are y'all ready to hear who is in the slam?
Gang, 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 gang.
Gang giggity.
All right. So poets will be reading in this order. It was randomized. Please do not shoot the messenger. But going first, we got Dupree, followed by Don, and ending the round off with Nicole Tracy. Give it up for everybody spitting tonight.
Woo.
All right. So
Let's go, poets.
Are y'all ready to start the show? No, I mean, we don't have to start the show.
Let's get
Let's go,
started.
poets.
All right, y'all are ready to start this show? No, we are not. We still need our sacrifice, someone to get us ready for poetry, to spill the blood. So on deck, meaning you are not coming up now, but you are next, so get ready, is Dupree. But coming up to the stage right now, give maximum love for your sacrifice of the night. Give it up for Colin. Woo. I'm joking. It's me. Mama says, boy, what you know about this? And she means that she plays the same damn songs at every barbecue, every birthday, every wedding, funeral, road trip. Mama, I think I know a lot about this. My mother's playlist is a holy grail of R&B and gospel. A treasure trove of Bill Withers and Kirk Franklin, she turns up the volume and turns back time. Glides across the kitchen floor on beat to music as old as my grandmother, her memory still alive, if only for the next 3 minutes. And that's all my mother needs to perform a dance hall seance, a living room resurrection. My mother asks, what do you know about this? And she is asking me, boy, what do you know about my mother? She is asking if I can remember grandmother outside of the death and the cancer. She is telling me everything she knows of my grandmother. She remembers through music. Grief is just another sad song, she says. Each melody is a eulogy for a face we have forgotten. When my mother asks, boy, what do you know about this? She is only asking not to be forgotten. She is asking to be held in every note of my favorite song.
Gang, 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 gang.
Woo! Give it up one more time for the sacrifice. Oh my gosh, who was that guy? He was so ugly. I'm glad he's off stage. Kidding, kidding. Judges, send your scores in to Prophet, aka the Berkeley Slam. All right. Now that we have our sacrifice out the way, we are finally ready to start the show. So on deck, we got Don, but give maximum love to our first poet of the slam. Give it up for Dupree.
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, bet. My skin sheds like a snake, white cracked with flakes, dry and wanting to leave their space, a strongly divided canyon, embedded into me and my dry ass knees, leaving traces of myself everywhere, mixed with the taste of cocoa butter so I can never disappear, no hiding behind thick pieces of my calluses as they drop with each touch. People like to leer at the spaces of empty skin, white torrid canvases I used to call home, now gone and abandoned me, leaving holes where they had grown even when I had just got comfortable inside of me. I began to see myself exfoliating and showing off parts of me that I still wasn't ready to see. Something visceral and crimson underneath, new skin freshly born. And it happens every season, so I shouldn't be surprised, but every shedding becomes the first time. But this shed will be different, as I love the incoming skin. I can feel it growing, and I'm prepared to fit in. I need to get a sign that says handle with care just to tease it, since I'm sure that's where I'm headed. I'm shedding soon. It's the season, and the scales are so supple and fresh. And I keep the coconut oil and aquaphor pouring, protecting me in a petroleum jelly sheen, safely wrapped in a graceful coat, pulling wool socks over my toes so they can soak, and I'll part with the pieces that don't serve me. I'm ready to shed and see something new, ready to ditch the thick skin I grew, and she served me well, protected my peace. But there are seasons where even I know that I need to leave, and the old skin will still be there, a hollow husk mannequin that I can still slip in, wear her like a costume on Halloween, and sometimes it still fools people, and they'll think that she is me, and even though we are no different, my dry ass elbows give me great benefits, forcing me to become something transformed, giving me one face at night, but another by the morning. I've been flaking off bits for weeks now. The shed feels much bigger than the past ones. It's taking its time. Only small sections can peel, but nothing new underneath is fully revealed. Just a faint diamond shapes dancing in a pattern, snake skin ready to be worn, and I'm hoping she'll be someone new who matters.
Woo! Right. Give it up one more time for Dupree. Gang, 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 gang. And for reference, our sacrifice got a score of a 25.2. Give it up for the poet, not the scores. Gang, gang, gang. All right. On deck. On deck, we have Nicole Tracy, but coming up to the stage, give maximum love for Don.
Let's go. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
The first time I met the moon, I was in the back seat of a brown Cadillac. Viewed it through Velcro seatbelts. The 80s leather seats would be mailed seal kiss to the body, but on this night, I felt free. Felt like the moon knew me for what I was, drove so long, it guardian angel my movements. Waited into the car, rocked me to sleep to turn sunrise. This before depression eclipsed me, before I knew gravity. Realized my body doesn't know buoyancy, just an unbearable heaviness. I wish to know silence like the moon. Not an emptiness at my core. These days, me and my mother clash like Big Bang. Remember, she is a fizzle star. All she knows is collapse. My mother has said she has never known unconditional love, just survival. Does not know how to be a son to a son. Harms me with words I don't dare repeat in my depression. Feeds on everything I am without the moon. Be mystery. Unafraid of the dark, I be a broken rocket lost in the space of my mind. One time, I lived with a black hole. Couldn't contain his emotions, so he sucked all the life out of my universe. Fifth meteor to drywall, and now I have so much PTSD. My depression turns loud noises into my own death threats. I beg for help, but nobody in space could hear you scream. I heard someone say depression will be gone with time, but space knows no concept. Like a dying star, this may be my last testament. I'm tired of howling at the moon, asking questions like, do you ever feel alone? Do the stars ever talk back to you? How could God leave you in the dark left to shine in another shadow? And I am not Christian. But when I wanted to drive through my neighbor's brick house, I heard the moon light a conversation. Tell me, I've never known what it is to be me. I was given purpose after being named by people. I find meaning in every wave used to push a ship. I light people home. I was never capable of being touched by humans. But what is it to know peace if everybody can land on you? That I do not know this depression. But if it's like my craters, it may never be filled, but it'll never stop my rotation. That there are hundreds of people that think I follow them home when they drive or fly in my skies. Think I am a god, a therapist, to an insomniac, a chauffeur on a drunken night. So I do not explain science to them. Do not snatch safety from the chest of knowing protection, of knowing something sees them, and I see you. And I hope to continue to glow for you until you're capable of doing that yourself.
All right, give it up one more time for Dawn. Gang, 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 gang. Judges, send your scores into Profit. And for reference, our last poet Dupree got a score of a 25.3. Give it up for the poet. Gang, 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 gang. All right. We are
Gang, 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 gang.
almost at the end of our first round already. It's like some lightning competition. But did you know that we don't just do competitions here or open mics? We don't just do performing poetry. We also curate writing workshops every single third Tuesday before the show at 7 o'clock. We are on Zoom doing writing workshops. We have writing workshops before most of our shows. So please check out all of our social media to stay up to date on not only when you can spit poetry with us, but when you can write with us as well. On deck, we have the second round, but coming up to the stage right now, give maximum love for Nicole Tracy.
Gang, 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 gang.
Mic check.
We can hear you.
10 things you should know by now. 1. The first boy will break your heart. So will the second and third and fourth. He will try and make you into something easier for him. 2. Only change for yourself. Go out dancing alone, and if your boyfriend makes a fit of it, go again. Go alone, go with friends, leave him at home. Just leave him. 3, don't be ashamed for what makes you happy. Trashy reality TV is everyone's guilty pleasure. You can like school and be smarter than your boyfriend. They should make light up sneakers in adult sizes too. 4, try everything new you can. Stringed instruments are harder to learn than woodwinds. Part of stand-up comedy is learning to fall on your face and still laugh. Painting is a mess, but very relaxing. Zumba and kickboxing are great ways to feel great. Don't worry, I'm sure learning to ride a bike is overrated anyway. 5, date yourself. Not in the self-discovery cliche way, but take yourself out to dinner, the movies, a new coffee shop, stay up all night and watch the sunrise. 6, do not go back to the first boy, or the second or third or fourth. You cannot change him. He shouldn't change you. 7, go buy a vibrator. You love how your friend talks about hers and you want to find out for yourself. You're welcome. 8, when you get your period, it was not a betrayal. It was a natural part of growing up. You don't need to feel guilty for hating your body anymore. After all, you learned your body did not betray you by changing. 9, you were not selfish for leaving toxic people behind, even if they are your blood relatives, especially if they are your blood relatives. Learning to make the best decision for you is an invaluable lesson. 10, soon you will not wonder who you are because you know you are always becoming.
All right, give it up one more time for Nicole Tracy. And for reference, our last poet dying got a score of a 27.1. Give it up for the poet. Gang, 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 gang. All right. So we have made it to our second round. This round is the money round. So, judges, we need you to be as discerning as possible. This is the important shit. So we are going to have a little bit of a order reversal. So poets will be reading in reverse order of appearance from our last round. So we were starting off with Nicole Tracy, when followed by Don, and ending the night off with Dupree. So, without further ado, on deck we have Don, but coming up to the stage, give maximum love for Nicole Tracy.
Content warning for sad family shit and mentions of death. Alternative ways to say my father doesn't want to be a father. 1, he and my mother divorced. That's why she and I have different last names. Truth, you must be married first in order to be divorced. My mother even had a wedding dress picked out and still keeps her old engagement ring. 2, he only gets visitation because family courts are biased towards mothers. Truth, he told the court he would let his 2-year-old sit in a dirty diaper because he wouldn't change it. And it's 20 years later, he has a new child, and I still don't think he knows what it means to be a parent. 3, he lives out of state. That's why he's not on any of my school forms. Truth, my mother says he is not responsible enough to care for his 9-year-old, and I am not old enough to operate the stove unsupervised. He calls his car his baby, but not any of his 3 children. 4, we have a few photos of all 3 of us. Truth, it is my mother's senior prom photo. She found out about me 2 days earlier and you could never tell by the smile on her face. I assume the photos of him and I are the ones my mother took. She did not want their relationship to affect ours. 5, maybe it is genetic or runs in the family. Truth, his father adopted him to make his wife happy and they got stuck with each other when she died. His father told me I need to be better than his son because his son was a screw up after all. I am one of the many reasons he believes my father is a screw up. Truth. We are not missing anything or anyone. Truth. My mother was enough. Doing nothing means there is nothing to forgive you for.
All right, give it up one last time for Nicole Tracy. Judges, send your scores into Profit, and for reference, our last poet got a score of a 26.2. Give it up for the poet. Gang, 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 gang. All right. On deck, we have Dupree, but give a maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Don.
Let's go.
Medusa lives inside of my mouth, creates Greek mythology every time I speak. My tongue coils around vocabulary, leaves lies out of every syllable. My saliva is venom, infecting those that hear my words. My lips make sense, and sense all sound the same. In middle school, my list was caged in speech class. Tongue labeled lazy, the way there are some words I cannot say that they did nothing to unwrap my language. My peers parcel tongue my vocabulary, imitated me drowning in saliva, choking on words. So I record my voice to find its beauty. But my own ears will bleed at my cry for help. Then I ask to be restrictor, but smooth jazz for my list to cause faces to blister, to be something worth loving. And the older this mouth grew, people named it a rainbow. Realize the world assumes men with lists be a bad omen, a pit of snakes in our throats. My peers called me a faggot long before I liked men. My father attempted to crush the eggs in my throat. My list, my sexuality, a threat to masculinity. When my mouth opens, even the Bible said the devil hits his way into Eve eating the apple. The gays are hitting their way into your children's minds. Use religion as a weapon. Play God, hang us with our tongues, make us snakeskin boots, wear our trauma as a trophy, then ask themselves for forgiveness. Most days, I do not wish to be a snake charmer. For my list to be labeled feminine, to shrink my shriek, to not be a snake in the grass. Homophobia's next target. For sounding too woman, to mispronounce my anxiety, to turn my mouth into a snake trap. Afraid of what I say, of how I say it, because of the anaconda down my throat. But the thing about lisping and sexuality is that there ain't a cage or a closet to contain it. All boys like me could do is shed death threats, the daily affirmations, declare our mouths. We're creating God's image long before man or Eden. I know the men may one day come for this King Cobra, but I learned us snakes know a thing about survival. We may drown us, but we are known for swimming. We may chop off our limbs, but we will grow them back. My list, my sexuality is not an omen, but an accent. Mouth contains too much God to be afraid of mortals. I pray Black queer boys no longer are prey, but if threatened, may venom be their first language. Suffocate homophobia, devour anything that deems them uncomfortable, find beauty in every breath they take to speak. Be Gorgon and God, may they look death in the eyes. Neck high, may they turn their enemies to stone.
All right, give it up one more time for Don. Gang, 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 gang. And for reference, our last poet, Nicole, got a score of a 25.4. Give it up for the poet. Gang, 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 gang. All right. We have made it to the end of our show tonight. Because on deck, we have finding out who wins this money and then going home. But wait, most of us are already home. So I guess going to bed, going to party, going to do whatever the hell you want because it's your house. It's your rules. So on deck, we have seeing who wins this money. But coming up to the stage, give maximum love for our last poet of the night. Give it up for Dupree.
What's up?
Can hear you.
Cool. How the beasts love to stalk the swarthy rabbits, twiddling their whiskers at the pertinent frost. Pine sings against the silence from the warmth of the burrow. Moss marbles the fallen trunk that conceals it. Filaments of fresh fungi grow small and sturdy, waiting for harvest patiently. Long-footed trails lead away from home, traveling to sit amidst a grove of white birch, gnawing on the roots of the final wheatgrass, as other prey plays against the dying violet blossoms. Between the birches, a red devil dives, from trunks to fresh snow piles, stepping lightly to sniff the ripe fruit, the scent fresh in the winter as the wind carries it, tasting of a full belly. As the wind howls and howls, many lost names, the hair has lapsed at the exhilaration of the copper of blood. The northern shrike trills in alarm, gathering the arena. Mirth dippers and blue jays and robins and crows, cackling in cacophony, a choir of frenzy, safe from above. All eyes were simply watching in awe of God, touching down onto the hair with a scarlet kiss, whose fuzzy nostrils give a fluttering twist. Ivory incisors covered in stains drip as small puffs of cold breath poured with exhaustion. The hunter sighs clemently, not wishing but waiting to be found. Matted brown fur masks the stain of blood. Confusion grips beasts when prey doesn't run, learning, becoming, transforming into not prey, suddenly understanding nothing else but bite or be bitten. Perhaps the taste will eventually fade from memory and palate, washing little pink tongues clean of the visceral adrenaline. The fox lies open, sleeping in a circle of cheering voyeurs, flying in a hollow circle. As God left the place empty, falling away after final words are killed in the storm. No more do beasts simply stalk the prey. Instead, the prey disappears quietly, slipping away with a blessing and stays in the warmth while beasts watch and wait.
All right, give it up one last time for Dupree. Gang, 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 gang. Judges, send your scores into profit. And for reference, our last poet, Don, got a score of a 28.4. Give it up for the poet. All right, we have reached the end of our show. So while our scorekeeper is tabulating some scores, let me tell you about some of the other shows going on in the Bay Area. So starting off, Rich Oak Alchemy Slam every first and third Saturday.
Yes, this Saturday.
Yeah, that's this Saturday. Okay. Yes, so this Saturday will someone's asking if I explain the scoring again. Okay, so scores are cumulative. So we are adding up the scores from the first round and the second round, and the top score will get $50. All right. Cool. And for reference, our Dupree's second round score is a 25.0. Gang, gang, gang. All right. So back to other shows. So Rich Oak Alchemy open mic every first and third Saturday on Instagram Live. Our next show is this Saturday. Special announcement. Alchemy open mic will be back in person at the Allen Buford Center for Justice starting in September. But don't worry, we will still have online open mics for the Alchemy Slam. Thank you. Shout out to Nicole and Chardonnay for stepping up and making that happen. Because we love the community that we fostered here online the last 3 years, and we don't want to just leave y'all hanging. We want to still connect with y'all and do shit with y'all. So we'll still be around on the interwebs. But also is the Berkeley Poetry Slam every single Wednesday at the Starry Plow in Berkeley. That is this Wednesday. Nicole said, I'd love to help in person, but a 3,000-mile commute feels like a lot. Yeah, it is. Twice a month, unnecessary. But we love that you're able to still help out from 3,000 miles away. But Berkeley. Cool. Berkeley Slam is every Wednesday at the Starry Plow in Berkeley. That is also a competition. There is $200 in cash prizes for first, second, and third place. So if you are in the Bay Area, come on out, spit some poetry, win some money. We also have a writing workshop before that show. It starts at 7 p.m. on the stage. So if you want to write with us, that's another great opportunity. There is also one of our new shows, Daydreamers Poetry at Medicine for Nightmares bookstore in San Francisco. Every second Saturday, we got an open mic and a dope ass showcase. Stay connected and tapped in for more information on that. And of course, our newest event is Funky First Fridays, every first Friday at the Alan Buford Center for Justice on 25th and Telegraph. Right next, like right at the First Friday Festival, we have live music, dancing, all that good stuff. So come down for a party. It's a really great time. If y'all missed it this month, sorry, come back next month though. It was really fun. But I do believe I have all of my scores. Alrighty. And third place. Let me get like a tiny drum roll. I'm pretending y'all are drum rolling. With a score of a 50.3. Give it up for Dupree. Woo. Gang, 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 gang. All right, I need a slightly larger drum roll because in second place with a score of a 51.6, give it up for Nicole Tracy. Gang, 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 gang. All right. And I need a super loud extra drum roll because in first place, with a 55.5, winning 50 American dollars. That's a lot of fucking fives, yo. Give it up for your winner of the night, Dawn. What do you want to say to the people, Dawn?
I wasn't gonna slam tonight because I haven't slammed in a minute. I've been so busy with life. But something in my Negro spirit told me to slam because I'm trying to get back into poetry and get back into slam stuff. So it was a pleasure being here. I love Berkeley. I will be in California for a week next year. Don't ask me when. It's just the plan. So I would love to come out and be with y'all. Amazing, dope ass people.
Let us know. Maybe we have something open for you.
Yes. And shout outs to everybody who slammed and participated tonight. You are all amazing. I'm glad I could share this space. And I'm glad you guys always have space for me here.
Yes, of course. And I'm glad that you chose to be here tonight. It's good seeing you.
Of course.
All right. Thank you, everyone who spit. Shout out to Don. Thank you, Dupree and Nicole, for being our lovely contestants of the night. Shout out to all of our judges for doing the hard job of making all the decisions because the poetry was fire tonight. Shout out to our scorekeeper for like doing the math, or at least, putting numbers in the spreadsheet that actually does the math. Wouldn't be a show without you. Shout out to our god of slam, Arvin, for keeping the live stream running and all of that good stuff. And most importantly, shout out to you, our audience out there on the interwebs. We would just be some crazy motherfuckers without y'all. So we're glad that we could kick it with y'all, spitting poetry another month. We will be back here next month. But if you miss us in the meantime, check out all of our other shows. Stay up to date on our social media. This has been the Oakland Poetry Slam. I have been your host, Colin. We will see you next time.